Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video today. I am continuing on still with my photos from my trip to New York in December. And if you watched my last process video, I'm going to flip this page over here. I had done photos of when I checked into the hostel where I stayed. And this is kind of a continuation of that, but this is its own kind of two-page spread here. But it's a little bit different because on this left side I have, standard of pictures and a journaling card. But then this side, I haven't quite decided what to do with it yet. I have these items that I want to put in here, but I don't know if I should just put a piece of plain cardstock or pattern paper in there and then just drop these in, or if I should try to adhere them somehow. I'm not sure. So what I have on this side is a business card from where I stayed. I stayed at the Chelsea International Hostel, so I picked that up when I was there. This is my machine receipt from what I paid. As you can see, that's kind of a steal for New York, so that was for 2 nights. That's pretty good. So I want to keep that in there. And then I have this map. Now, ironically, I didn't use the map. I've been to New York before, and I feel pretty comfortable with getting myself around there on the subway, and I kind of know where all the major things are. But it was in a little bin at the hostel, and I thought, well, that might be fun, to include somewhere. And I like the front of it here. It has nice color range here, and it says New York City in big letters, so I thought, why not? So I have it, and the color here matches this, the blue. So I want to try to make these work somehow, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to deal with that one right away. I'm going to procrastinate and put that off for now, and I will start with the left-hand page instead. For these photos, these are both views from out the window of my room in the hostel once I checked in. So they're somewhat, similar. They're looking at the backs of other buildings. But this is part of what I love about New York. I love old buildings. And I loved seeing kind of the old brick and, these kind of slightly rickety looking balconies, and then old AC units and stuff out the back. And look at this old weathered brick here. I thought that was pretty cool. And this building is actually part of the hostel. It's just across a courtyard, so you can see, the top of the roof there. And then just another view here looking slightly the other way. So I wanted to include these, but I don't know really what I'm going to put on there. Probably something about look at that view, or something related to checking in or hotel stay, or something like that. And then on this one, I'm probably going to stamp something, I think. Maybe above the NYC in black, just to bring out that color. Because then I will be journaling down here about checking in and what what my initial impression was probably, or something like that, and then talking about the view. So it doesn't leave me a lot of room here, but I can fit in something basic there. But I'm guessing this will only be stamping and maybe some washi or something. I don't know. So I'm going to go bust into all my stuff and see what I come up with. For these photos, I'm thinking I will probably end up leaving this one as it is and not doing anything with it. But for this one, I did find this phrase, explore your world, that I could put right here. And the nice thing about it too is that it's got that blue in it, so it's going to match the card on the other side and that map. So I think I have to go with that one. So I'm just not going to do a whole lot with it. I'm just going to adhere it down, probably put a staple in there. So I think right about here covers up a little bit of the roof, which is fine. There's not anything exciting about that. I wouldn't want to cover up the buildings though, because that was the point of the picture, is to show that. So I think that'll work nicely. I think I will put just a little staple in there right at the edge, as I've been doing with a lot of these. Just don't really need it to hold it on there, but it's a nice little visual extra that makes it a little bit more intriguing, I think. So that's all I have for those. Pretty simple. As I'm looking at this, I do have some blank sky up here, and I could stamp on that. So I'm going to keep that in mind if I feel like it needs anything extra. I could also maybe do it on the roof if I wanted to, just to fill that kind of dead space there. I don't know. But for now, I think that's all I'm going to do with those two. With this larger, this is a 4x6. With this 4x6 card that says NYC, I originally thought I would maybe stamp here or put something above NYC, but this is going to sit, under here. So this would basically line up with that. And I don't like it looking so stacked, I guess is the way to put it. So I think I've come up with something else. I have found these. One says check-in, and then the other one's right where I want to be. They both work with the other element I found. I've got the gold color and then the blue. However, this is done like a pennant, so I can't really do it on this side unless I cut that off. So I think to balance out this being on the right side, I'm going to put that on the left over there and then this underneath. And I think I'm going to trim off a little bit of this just so there's a bigger distance between the ends of these. Give it a little bit more contrast. But I'm going to put them on that side, I think, and then let the NYC stand on its own. So we'll see how that looks. I am going to cut off just a little bit, maybe about here. So that they'll be like that. Yes, I like that better. More contrast. That's good. All right, so then I'm going to adhere them. So this might end up being a really easy left side of the page. I think that right side, with that receipt and the card and the brochure, I think that's going to be the tougher one here. So kind of spacing these together here. We'll do the gold one there. And then we'll do the blue one slightly above. Right up top there. Make sure it sits. Whoop. I'm going to switch around here. There. I want it to sit perfectly flush with the gold one. There we go. Yes. Okay. So then we'll put a staple in here too. And I think, could I sneak one in there? Maybe not. That's kind of close to the edge. So I think I might do this where I can get them both. Yeah. All right. So this is what we have here. There's the upper part of that page. There's the lower part. And right now, at least I'm thinking that is it, except for when I get to the journaling. The only other thing I might add here is an enamel dot or some bling of some kind just to liven it up a little bit. But right now, I don't know what piece that would be, so I'm going to wait on that. When I went through my stash of papers, I found this one. This is from Authentique. I think I've had this for quite some time. This is the other side, which I like, but I don't think the pattern is quite right. So I think I'm going to stick with the stripe. And it isn't a perfect color match for this, but it's close. I think it'll be fine because you really won't see that much of it if I'm going to put that map and that other stuff in there. So I'm going to cut this now to fit into that right-hand page. And I mostly use the actual Simple Stories page protectors, but sometimes I'll use ones from Stampin' Up! And sometimes I've used some from Echo Park because they all fit with where the rings are placed. This is a Simple Stories one that I'm using here. I happen to know that the best fit is actually 6 1/8 by 8 1/8. So that's what I'm going to cut this to right now, and then I will come back with it. So I did cut the paper here, and I think for a basic start, I'm going to angle this business card there and actually adhere that. This is so heavy because it's pretty thick. I think I'm actually just going to drop it in there. That way anybody could take it out and look at it if they wanted to see the map of New York City. But this, I'm not sure how I'm going to make this work in there. I really would like to include it, but I just don't know if it's going to be feasible. I thought, maybe I could fold it and tuck it in somewhere, which I still might be able to do. I'm not sure, but I'm going to at least start with this and then see where it takes me. As I was looking through things and trying to figure out how I was going to use this receipt, I kind of changed my mind of what I was going to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this into a flip once it's in there. That way I can include the receipt either on the back of this photo or here, but then I need a card. to put in here. So what I'd really like is either something in this blue or this kind of gold color. And these are all the cards that I pre-selected for this album because they either have something specific to New York or they're just travel related or somehow I thought they might work. And what I've done is I've put them all in color order. So color order according to the rainbow. So I want to go to my gold section first here, yellow/gold, and just see if I have anything that might work. Probably not the taxi. Maybe that one. I do like the look of this one. I think I had pulled this previously thinking I might use it elsewhere, but I kind of like it. That might work. This is going the wrong orientation. It's not two-sided. Nope. So wrong orientation. Can't use that one right there. I was not exploring the city there yet or there. Possibly I could use adventures in the city, although, you know, just checking into your hostel and looking out the window of your room is not really an adventure. I do have this one. Took a picture, and I've already inked the edges here because I thought it looked nice with this. I stamped that on there. Took a picture so it would last longer. I could use that one. Now that's not quite the right yellow, so maybe not. That looks, you know, like a taxi border. No lights. Well, guess what? After I looked through all those, this one's going to have to be the winner if I go with yellow because there isn't really anything else that will work. Now I'm going to skip to the blue section here. Okay, which pretty much starts here. But I need like a navy, like a darker blue. I love the card, but that's not the right blue. Nope. Nope. Please tell me I have something navy in here. I swear that I did. Get away. That's kind of cool, but again, not the right color. Oh, here we go. I think there's too much white in there, though. And it wasn't morning, it was afternoon, so that's not going to work. I love this card, Dirty Water Dog. That has nothing to do with what I'm looking at here in these pictures. Okay, wrong orientation. Nope, that's it. Okay, so it is this one. That's the winner. When I went through my stash again to find a background for this receipt, I found this piece of paper. I think this is actually an old 4x6 Creative Memories mat. I think I've had it for years and years and years. That looks like that color scheme. It's a little bit too big, so I am going to trim it down to a 3x4, and then it's going to fit in there perfectly. For this particular card, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a strip of washi, and I've selected this one because it kind of reminds me of this pattern here. And it's white, but there's silver in it, so I think it's enough to be slightly distinctive here. I thought about doing black since there's going to be black writing, but it just felt like that might be too bold. So I'm going to go with this one, see what I think. It is washi, so I can remove it if I don't like it. But I'm not actually going to glue this down. I'm just going to use the washi at the top so that if somebody wanted to, they could take it out of the pocket, unfold this, and look at it if they wanted to. So, and I kind of like that this is bent down. That's just the way it happened after being in my wallet, and I'm going to leave it that way. So, let's see here. I want to line it up pretty central. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I like it like this, kind of off center. All right. And then let's just make sure, yep, you can still unfold it there. Now, when I see it like that, I do like the pattern, but it is a lot of white on white. So I think I'm going to find something to put up here. Some little doodad, I'm not sure, but I'll find it and I will put it on there. So I've gone back on what I said. When I said I didn't want to do any black on there because I thought it was too much, I meant it at the time. But when I see it like this, it needs something. And really, you know, the ink on here is black. There will be black writing, so I think it'll be okay. So I pulled these out of my stash, and I'm trying to figure out which of these I'm going to use. I like all of them. It'll either be the stripe or the polka dot, I think. I don't think this really says New York, kind of a gingham. That's a little bit maybe different area of the country. So let's hold them up and see. That's what the stripe would look like. That's the polka dot. Oh, I like them both. I think the stripe, we're going to go for it and just see what we think. And want it like this or down here? I think down here. There we go. Yep, I think that's all I'm going to do with that, but now I have to get everything into a flip and adhere it to the page. So I put everything in the pockets here that I could. The one thing I want to say is I've decided, you know, as I mentioned, to do the flip. When I first started doing these on pages like this, if it was an upper pocket like this, I put it at the top, but then you would have to fold over the adhesive kind of, and then it would close this pocket. It would essentially be sealed with adhesive and you couldn't get it open. And I think I was doing that the wrong way because that seems now like, well, that's kind of dumb. Then you can't ever get in the pocket again. So what I started doing is when it's an upper pocket like this, I actually go this way. So it'll be adhered like this. You will actually fold down instead of up. And it will overlap this pocket, but because of where the adhesive is, it sticks here, but this pocket will still be open. So I could get in there if I needed to. So that's my plan here. And I do want to say that this particular flip I'm using now is the official Simple Stories brand. So it's meant to go with these. However, Close to My Heart does make some. The adhesive's a little wider, it's slightly different, but they do make them in the same size. I have used those as well, and they work just fine. It just happens that I had bought several packs of these particular flips that are actually from Simple Stories, so I've just, you know, continued to use them. Now, getting this lined up is the trick here, because it is slightly wider. So I kind of want it like that, I think. It's going to hang off the edge a little bit over here. I'm not so much of a perfectionist, and I'm going to let that bother me because I need that flip on there. And when you do that, you don't really notice it anymore. So I'm probably the only one that knows. So here it is adhered, right? And remember I said I could still get in that pocket? There it is. I can still remove this if I ever change my mind, add something if I wanted to, so it doesn't affect being able to open that. So that works out well. So I think this one is done, guys. So I just adhered this on before, and like I said, I was just going to drop this in. So this totally comes in and out for anybody that would want to maybe take it out and look at the map. So that works. And then you can still see the card. And there's the side-by-side view. So I think this one worked out well. It turned out differently than what I expected. I was not intending to do a flip on there, but I like it. So I think it's set. I'll do my journaling later, and it's done. Another layout completed. Thanks for watching.